if I'm honest, I think I can quite honestly say that I've got pretty much everything wrong in my Christian walk, to be honest. I think I seem to be taking the term saved to the extreme. I guess I've learned that I've been saved because I really do need to be saved. I've tried saving myself many times, and it seems I've learnt that whatever I do, I just cannot quite get it right, really, which I think is, as Christ said himself, people who are well don't need a doctor. It's those who are broken and who are sick. And especially coming off the medication, I think the problems were there when I was on the medication, but they were just covered over, dulled, so I wasn't really aware of them so much, even though they were very much there. But it's like, coming off the medication, I became very aware of just how broken I became, really. I can honestly say, I couldn't even muster faith. Particularly throughout my medication withdrawal, I've barely been able to read my Bible, which is torturous because it gives me strength when I do. And I've not even been able to do that. I've not been able to have a regular or healthy prayer life, or I've not even found that I've been able to give thanks and praise to the Lord for what He's done, really. I've realised pride has been a very, very, very major problem with me, which is, I've realised, really very ridiculous, considering, I'm a saved sinner, and to think that I should actually be proud, and quite arrogant, I think I've been, if I'm honest, over time. Especially with the extent of sin that I lived in the past. If I'm honest, the majority of sinners in my old life hated me, really, because I was just, they were sinners, obviously, they're sinners and they're unsaved sinners, but I was hated by sinners. The extent of my sin was so awful, really, and yet I've been so proud, and I've realised tonight, really, thanks to a good friend of mine, probably the reason why I've been so worried that I'm not giving thanks and praise to the Lord for what He's done is because, if I'm honest, I've wanted to be saved because I deserve saving, I guess. But no, I've been saved because I need to be saved, which I guess is, the essence of the gospel message, really. I'm living proof, really. And I think probably the thing that's blown me away most of all about being saved in the way that I have is throughout the medication withdrawal, pretty much throughout my whole Christian walk, I've not been as I imagine Christians should be. I've had the worst type of weak faith, really, so happy when things are going well, and when problems have come, I've just crumpled. I've really been carried through it. Now, coming off the medication, it was horrendous, as I said. Blasphemies spewing out of my mouth left, right and centre, cursing the Lord, so angry for being in the mess that in reality I brought on myself with my sin and my own bad choices. Basically being what I guess really the most ungodly Christian I could have been. And yet the Lord has forgiven me, which is, it's a lot to get my head round, really, sort of, because I felt that I couldn't be forgiven. I've basically been trying to serve a condemning God, and it's been very hard, and you cannot worship a God that's going to condemn you. So now I'm sort of learning from the way He's forgiven me so much and picked me up every time I've crumpled on the floor from my own stupidness, really, and He's still picked me up and given me more love and helped me to learn and grow through it. So yeah, I've really, really come to realise that we are saved because we need saving. People say they're proud of how far I've come, but I've really done nothing myself. It's all been the Lord.